Hi, my name is Brittney King Brock, and I am a featured woman for the October 2024 issue of the Bold Maven magazine.
Can you share a little about what you do?
I am the founder of King Creative Group, which is a talent management and operations consulting company. And I'm also the founder of an organization called Moms in Music. So with King Creative Group, I represent talent. I represent talent of all aspects, including artists, creatives, any type of talent that I personally am a fan of and that I feel like I can contribute to and add value to in terms of the business side of whatever it is that their creative outlet is. And so what I do in that capacity is working with my clients as the business liaison, overseeing all aspects of their business, interfacing with, if they're an artist, I interface with the record labels, and all of the partners, the publishers, the touring managers, helping to put things together from a strategy perspective. And then with Moms in Music, we are a community. We're a membership community of women that are all over the country, as well as in different territories like Toronto, London, Nigeria. And we are building a really powerful movement of women who are moms and on the journey to motherhood. We provide programming, workshops in person and virtually. And those are two businesses that I'm super proud of, just as a woman, to be able to build something from the place of ideation to execution has been a wonderful journey.
What schools did you attend?
I completed my undergraduate at Clark Atlanta University. I got my bachelor's in public relations, and then I completed a certificate in production at UCLA.
Can you take us through the journey of starting King's Creative Group?
Yeah, so I started King Creative Group really from my own experiences in the business, working in the label system, in the management system. I worked for several different organizations before deciding to launch out on my own. But it came from my own passion of being able to work directly with the talent and knowing that I have a passion of being on the right side in terms of handling the business well. And so it started from me wanting to venture out on my own and having the autonomy to set the tone in terms of what I wanted the business, profile to be, if you will, in terms of the values. And we are now, I believe, 7 years into King Creative Group, and I'm constantly building the roster, working with different artists as well as labels and publishers to help them advance, whatever their business goals are.
What inspired you to start Moms in Music?
It was from my own personal experience. I got pregnant in 2019. At the time, I was the president of a record label, and I was, facing this huge change in my life, and I personally was craving community. It started from me looking for community on Google, and I couldn't find anything that I identified with. And so I didn't know then, but that was the seed that would eventually become Moms in Music, because I started to have the conversation with other women who were moms or hope to be moms who were in this industry. And I got a lot of insight on what their experiences have been. And a lot of people shared the same sentiments as me, as far as feeling isolated, feeling like, there's a stigma in our business of when a woman chooses to have a family or, get married or just have a life outside of the industry, they're very quickly written off. And I didn't want that to be my story. That wasn't my experience. And so I wanted to start something where we could kind of reclaim that power, but also come as a community and collectively to share and embrace the superpower that I believe is motherhood, because it puts a totally different type of battery in your back. And I think for a very long time, there has been a lie around that stigma. So we are building something that hopefully will rewrite the narrative of what motherhood looks like in our journey and in our experience, but also create something that is impactful for the generations to come. It's definitely a labor of love, and it's a passion that is turning into, its own business. I like to say that we're building the plane and flying it at the same time, because it just started from an idea of wanting to host a brunch for women, and now we have a community, and it's constantly growing. So it's something that for me is a reminder that if you have an idea, to just really lean into whatever, that unction is in your spirit, even if you don't necessarily know how it will happen or, if the resources are available. It's something that I just leaned into, and it's taken on a life of its own. So really proud about that.
What do you consider to be some of your biggest accomplishments so far?
Personally, I think being able to buy a home was a really big thing for me. That's an achievement that I'm super, super proud of. Being able to have a family and a life outside of career is something that I'm proud of, and just professionally being able to build a company and bet on myself. Those are milestones that I'm extremely proud of, but also being at a place where I'm super selective about who I choose to work with and understanding that there has to be a mutual respect. And I don't necessarily pick up clients because of the money. I pick up clients because of the alignment and me believing in whatever the gift is that they have, and knowing that I can help to elevate their career and take it to the next level. So I think, I'm proud of the fact that I've been able to sustain a career while not having to surrender my soul. In an industry that is very soul lurking, that's something that I stand 10 toes down on.
What has your experience been as a Black woman in your industry, especially as an executive?
As a Black woman in the business, I think it definitely has been the story of the underdog. And I'm okay with that. I think for a very long time, in the beginning stages of my career, I allowed it to dim my light in some ways, because you walk in the room and most times I'm the only woman, definitely the only woman of color, sometimes even the only person of color. And so that can be very isolating. But over, I would say, the last 5 to 7 years, and maybe motherhood has something to do with it, I don't know, there's been a different type of courageousness in my spirit where I've learned how to see the things that once limited me as my strengths. And I think when you're in an industry like music that is definitely the boys' club, you can feel very alone in certain things. And so I've learned the things that make me valuable as a woman are also the things that are the softness of a woman, the things that we see that sometimes men may not see. I've learned how to be more vocal about the things that do set me apart because I am a woman, and not letting that be what makes me, quiet or not use my voice. So I've become more vocal, and I think it's probably a combination of things as you get older, as you get more confident, as you grow in your career. But being a Black woman, it definitely can be isolating, but you have a choice on how you choose to channel that energy. And so for me, with where I am now, I channel it from a place of being inspired versus allowing it to bring fear.
What memories keep you motivated?
Oh, so many. I mean, memories of me being a 13-year-old girl in my bedroom in Birmingham, Alabama, reading through CDs, saying, oh man, one day I want to do this, and having no clue how it would happen, if it would happen, but dreaming, allowing myself to be a dreamer, and not only dreaming, but then having the fortitude and the courage to chase that dream. And so I think I'm constantly reminding myself, even in the moments that I have doubt or I question something, I remind myself regularly of who I am and how far I've come and what I've been able to overcome. And I understand that there is a strength that's bigger than me that is ordering my steps. And so those are the things that keep me motivated.
Outside of work, what brings you enjoyment?
I mentioned that I'm a bookworm, so I love reading, but I am also a very homebody. I like being in my house. I like being in my bed. I like doing absolutely nothing. I'm a homebody. And so in addition to just creating and crafting a space that feels like a safe haven, I love to travel. That's one of the threads that actually when my husband and I, when we were dating, that was one of our commonalities. We both just wanted to see the world and wanted to travel. I like learning about different cultures and different foods and different experiences and the way other people live. And it just kind of gives you a different perspective on humanity and life. I also like to practice yoga. I am a certified yoga teacher. I like to practice yoga and mindfulness and incorporate those things in my daily life, but also how I show up for my clients. Those are the things that kind of make me who I am.
To that 13-year-old you in Birmingham, Alabama, what would you tell her?
Girl, it's gonna all work out, but it's not gonna work out the way you think. It's not a straight path. And as long as you stay focused on the goal, you're gonna fall, but as long as you keep getting up and you allow yourself to learn the lessons along the way, you're going to be fine. And like to enjoy the ride. I think for a very long time, I was like too serious on things. And I think to a degree it worked, but also there are points in like my 20s, like I did not really have a life in my 20s because I was so laser focused on work, work, work. All I did was work in my 20s. And that positioned me well professionally, but it also had a lot of unhealthy habits that came with it. And so as I entered my 30s, I was very intentional to make different decisions and to create balance and to like sit with myself and design my life of what do you want your life to look like? What do you want every day to feel like? And so I think, you know, that 13-year-old self, I would just say, trust the process, give yourself time, but allow yourself to change along the way. And whoever you are today, know that you will not be that girl tomorrow.
Is there anyone that you would like to shout out?
My mama. I come from, you know, very strong Black women, independent thinkers, very, you know, you can do it. And so I think that as a young woman, I didn't necessarily understand the importance of that, but my mom has definitely been a anchor in my life. And so I would like to shout out Mama Red.
Final question. Do you have any current or future endeavors that you can share with our audience?
Yes, in 2025, I'm looking to host my first wellness retreat. It's something that a lot of my friends and just colleagues have asked me if I ever do retreats or if I host things. So I'm looking to host my first one in May 2025. And so if you follow me on Instagram, you'll be able to receive details when they are launched. My Instagram is at Brittney King Brock. But I'm looking forward to just holding space for women. To continue this conversation, you can read my story on theboldmaven.com. Make sure to subscribe to the Bold Maven newsletter to gain access to the digital magazine.